Okay. All right, so I'm sitting here today with Mr. Schlotman. He's our school principal, and I'm presenting my 30, 60, 90-day plan for project-based learning with technology integration. And the goal of this project is to reduce the percentage of minority gap students not scoring college-ready on the ACT. And we plan to accomplish this by using and implementing project-based learning with technology integration. Project-based learning hasn't been proven to increase ACT scores, but schools that use project-based learning have also not proven to score any worse. But what it has been proven to do is engage minority students a little more effectively than some of the traditional methods. So if we can get them paying attention and actively participating in group projects and increased learning, it should reflect on ACTs. That's the hope. So in the first 30 days, I know that in June we have a project-based learning training going on. Our district seems to be a pretty big proponent of project-based learning.
Huge.
And so what I was thinking of doing in the first 30 days is kind of getting materials together, creating kind of a database of lesson plans, especially things that involve technology. Because technology, I think, increases the engagement factor for students. I think technology allows them to communicate better and add extra things to projects that you can do without that. And it goes really well with the Canvas initiative that we've been doing in the school. There's lots of things that you can pretty much, I have put entire classes on Canvas-type websites for project-based learning. So they work really well together. So for the first 30 days, I'd like to, get the materials together, develop tools, resources, rubrics, develop professional development ideas and training ideas, and also look into things like multi-user collaborative ways of communicating, like Google Apps, spreadsheets, clouds that we can access and use. There's a lot of stuff out there that you don't have to pay for, that we can get students communicating and working with teams and developing projects. So for the first 30 days, I think most of that would be done, by teacher leaders, such as myself, and the the instructional coach. I know she has a lot of resources that we can use for this stuff to get this kind of thing going. And then after we get some people that are interested in PBL, or maybe have been using PBL, kind of would want to be kind of get this thing started, kind of like the people we have with Canvas right now that initiated it and got it started and helped other teachers. If we could get a team of PBL advisors together that could start implementing the resources that we have and sharing them with other teachers, and maybe even have model classrooms where other teachers could visit and see how they're implementing these PBL projects. Hopefully we can get people from all different disciplines, because it has been proven to work in math and science and in all the different areas. So I think that definitely the second part would be. You guys know?
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
That's okay. We were just working on going over this plan.
Okay.
Jessica Bass just came in. She is our instructional coach, and so after we get this group of people together, I think the 90 days, the 90-day plan would be to have look at goals of students, establish the 21st century skills and implementing those by building teams, implementing, making sure that our technology is available two teachers that need it and have access to it. So, we can, maybe have iPads or Chromebook labs that we already have that we could add, and make sure that teachers know that they're there and they're available, and how they can be used with project-based learning. And again, having those classrooms available for teachers to come in and see what other teachers are doing and how they're making that all work together. So in the last 90 days, we want to get teachers as advisors, teacher leaders, PBL advisors, to show what they're doing, communicate with parents regarding projects, submit videos. They can submit videos of their projects and how they're implementing them. We could create something in Canvas where they could post those and anybody could see how this stuff is being implemented and how they're using technology in the various classes throughout the school. So I think it would be a good way to use technology with projects. I think with the minority groups, it would definitely help a lot of our minority students to be involved more. And now to show that how will we prove this, we have to measure our ACT scores from one year to the next,
right,
to see if this was making an improvement. So that would be more of a longer term goal. We'd have to wait until next year until
right,
the ACTs are being done.
No, this is a huge initiative or goal or push by the central offices.
Yeah.
PBL.
I've used PBL a lot in my classes. I've received a lot of training when I was teaching informatics classes on PBL. That was all about project-based learning.
Yeah, I kind of saw that in my peer observation with what you were doing with the inventory.
No one need to know.
Yeah.
To start off the projects is a really good strategy. I think a lot of teachers, a lot of teachers don't like to change things. They don't like to change the way you're doing things, of course. But creating a big project, and having students responsible for their learning can seem like a strange idea when you're used to being the one.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest part for me was to just let go a little bit and let them, get a little frustrated sometimes. Why aren't you telling us exactly what the answer is? Well, I want you to look at it. I want you to look things up. I want you to learn from each other. So there's a lot of positives about project-based learning but it's going to take people to model it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take, that's the way I think to get it started is to see people doing it.
Yeah.
And showing that it actually does work. It can be successful and useful.
We've talked about convincing our staff to use more of this.
Yeah.
Steps we would have to take to do that. So.
And I think one thing that people struggle with is that uncontrolled variable or multiple, like the technology's not working, or I have to figure out how to learn that or how to use that technology before the kids do, and I don't have time. When you're doing what you've always done, you have a plan, you know how to do it. It doesn't take as much. It's effort in the classroom when you're teaching and presenting, but you've got to figure all these other pieces out. I think that's hard, and not having an answer is hard.
Yes.
Because in a true PBL, there is no right answer. The kids are discovering they're creating their own answer. And so that, I think, is hard. But we have a couple teachers right now doing PBLs who would, I think, really like to incorporate the technology.
I think it'd be a good idea to kind of create a technology base, a technology, like with something in Canvas where we could put a bunch of resources.
Yeah, we could do that.
Or how can you do this, what resources work well with PBL? How do I get them? Where are they? Make them available to people. Because there are a lot of things I was using Blackboard before Canvas, and I created a whole Blackboard page where I put an entire PBL project right on there.
Yeah.
So that students could access it whenever they wanted to. They could use all the tools that were available on the learning management system to be able to communicate with each other. So there's lots of things that we can do to tie in technology, and I think technology makes it easier, and I think the kids like doing it more when there's technology associated with it.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank
Great.
you.
Great.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank
Not a problem.
you.